This is Artisan Loom. I am here today with another tutorial, and this one is for my Masquerade ball bracelet. And it's not, I guess it's kind of a tight bracelet, but not too terribly bad. Let me see if I can see what the other side looks like. Okay. But this is the Masquerade ball. It is a 4-pin bar design. Finally, not too thick of a bracelet for you to do for the people who don't have enough looms. But we are going to attempt to make this. I'm going to do 2 full loom lengths. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and do a, I guess you would call it a Mardi Gras theme, since it's called Masquerade Ball. And I'm going to use a charm that has a mask on it for the charm that'll go in the center. So what I'm going to start with is 4-pin bars, and your first and fourth are at the same height. Then your second and third are at the same height. So you go down one and then they're the same. And it's I believe 2 full loom lengths long. Okay, so go ahead and pick your colors. I'm going to be picking, I believe it's called Purple LE or the Royal Purple. I'm going to use some glitter gold, some black opaque, and then some lovely green sweets. So it's colors that I don't normally use all together, but I just thought, why not do a Mardi Gras theme, even though I'm a month past Mardi Gras. But anyhow, I had this nice charm that I wanted to be able to use, and I thought, well, what better bracelet to put it on? Instead of creating a whole nother one that was like Masquerade-ish, I just decided to put it on this one. So what I do is I'm going to bead my border bands, not all of them, but every other one. And I went ahead and strung some seed beads on my bands, and I'm doing them in 2 different colors. I'm going to alternate every other band, or a band, plain band, seed bead band, plain band, seed bead band, but on the seed beads I'm going to use 2 different colors, the gold and the green on the purple. So to get started, we are going to put our first band going across the center, and then we're going to go to the left and to the right. Okay, and then basically we're going to take it all the way up, except for we're going to take our beaded band, and then we'll go second, and then a plain band. Then I'm going to alternate with, since I did green here, I'm going to do gold the next one. Okay, and then a plain band. And you'll do that all the way up the loom. Same on this side. We are going to do the plain band, and then I'm going to use the green like I did on this side. Okay, and then a plain band, and then a gold one. Okay, so go ahead and do that all the way up the loom, and then I'll meet you up top to show you what it looks like. Okay? All right, see you in a sec. Once you get that part done, this is where you're going to end. I just went all the way to the end with it. Because on this one, oh, and then you leave this one with no band on it. My original I made, and I didn't go all the way to the top, so I needed an extension for it. So I'm going to go all the way to the top this time. I guess when I first made it, I didn't realize how much shrinkage it was going to have. So this next part is going to be where this white is, and I'm going to use opaque black for that. Okay, you kind of need stretchy bands because you're going to do long stretches. So I wouldn't recommend LE bands going here because it would have to stretch across here. So, but anyway, you would just take your band from the last pin bar, first peg, to the third pin bar, third peg up. Okay, And then you're just going to do long stretches, okay? Really simple. Just get my hands out of the way. I'm just going to follow that all the way up, okay? And you're going to do the same thing on this side, the mirror image. So you're going to come from the, just like that. And just kind of do the long stretch. But definitely use stretchy bands. Okay, do that all the way up. And then I believe the next step will be where this silver is. So go ahead and pick out your colors once you get done with where the white is. Whatever you're going to use for where this silver is the next color coming up. So go ahead and figure that out and finish this to the top, and I'll meet you back. Once you get down to the very end, just like that, come back to the front, and we're going to do where the silver part is. Okay, where that silver is next, kind of going around. Okay, so at that point I'm going to use my sweets, and I'm going to use the green, and you are going to do just like this. You're going to go from this bar pen, the third bar pen, over to the last one, a long stretch. You also need stretchy bands for this part as well. LE probably would not be a good thing to use because we're just going to go just like we did with the black. We're going to go with this other color, okay? So we'll do the same over here. And then I'm going to let you finish that one up to the end just like we did. Okay, once you get that part, we are going to be doing the next part, which will be, and I don't know, you can't hardly see it, but I'm just going to do it because it's in my original, so I don't want to mess it up and change the design, so I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. But I'm going to take my glitter gold, and I'm going to go from there to there, and there to there, okay? I'm going to do that on both sides, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip one, okay, and then do another one. So I'm going to skip this one, go from there to there, okay? Then I'm going to skip one and go from here. You're just going to be, oops, nope, sorry, this goes inward. Okay, skip one and do one. Very simple. Not 100% sure why I have them in the design, because I'm not sure that it even matters, but we're going to put them in there because they were in my original. So I'm going to skip one and do one. Skip one, do one. Skip one, do one. Just like that. And we are going to do that all the way till you get to the end, okay? At this point, this is where you're going to end up at the top. Because if we skip one, then we have nowhere to, we would have to do these two, and this is outside of the border. So that's where it's going to stop. Okay, and now we're going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on with my gold, and I'm going to make X's going up to the left, or to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, and just make X's, okay? So for these first three, we're going to do X's. Now, we're still going to continue with X's, but I went ahead right here with these little beads that I put here. I'm going to put those in a different color going down. So I strung 2 seed beads with the spacer in between. And I'm going to go ahead and continue on with my X. X. And then I believe what's going to happen is I'm going to skip one. Not skip one with the bands, but lay another X with plain bands. And then I'm going to, well, if you see on this one how I went, this one was facing that way, that one was facing that way, and then that one was, you know, was like a zigzag. So at this point, I'm going to, since we went this way with that bead, I'm going to take another bead band, and I'm going to just start off going this way to this direction, okay? And then I'm going to close it off. And then you're going to skip one with the beads. Well, this one doesn't feel too good. I'm just going to make an X with no beads on it. Or if you don't want to do any beads at all, that's fine too. And then since we went this way with this bead, that way with this bead, we need to go that way first. So we're going to take another bead and we are going to go to the right, close it off, do plain bands. Okay, and now grab another bead. Since we went that way, we want to go that way first. So we're going to go from this right side to the left and then close it off, do plain, and that's basically what we're going to do all the way down. Every other X will have your little bead. Just make sure you're going to stagger it, or if you don't want to do any, that's fine too. Okay, so I'll meet you back when I get that part all finished. You get done and you start off with three bands with no beads on it, then do a bead and then a band, just bands with an X, and bead, plain, all the way up till you get to the end. Okay, that's how you're going to end that part off. Okay, so at this point, I believe we are ready to go ahead and turn your loom around. Okay, and we need 2 cap bands. I'm going to put a cap band on this one. No, actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I am not going to put a cap band on both of these. I'm going to continue the cap band right there. So I'm going to take one of my purples, double it, put it on one side, and pull it over. It's a double cap band. Okay, simple enough. Okay. We're going to go in through this cap band and we're going to go to the left. So it's the one that's on top. So we're going to grab this gold and bring it to the left, go into this one and bring it to the right. That is how I want to do it, right? Okay. The reason it looks different than my pictures is because I put 2 cap bands here instead of one going across. So okay, that threw me off a little bit, but I got it now. So we're going to be going right to left, right to left. Okay, so unless it's a beaded band, and that's going to get done first, I guess, because I would, well, anyhow. So we're going to go into this band, go to the left, go in here to the right, go in here to the left, to the right. Okay, so we've been getting the bands that have been on top, so that would be this band. So we're going to grab the one that's on top, and we're going to this time go to the right and then to the left, and it's just for these ones that have the beads on it. You're going to grab the one that's on top first. Since this one's on top, you're going to grab it and go this way. This is on top. Grab it and go that way. This one's on top. Okay, now this one's on top. So we're going to start in over here. Okay, and that's basically all you're going to do. Bring over the one that's on top, from the right to the left, unless it's on top, and then the one that's on top you would bring over that way. So hopefully that's not too confusing, but go ahead and finish that to the end, and I shall return. Finish that. We're gonna, these little, what are we saying? These little gold arrow type bands that we did every other one here, that's the one we're going to be doing next. So you're going to come into the first one, grab the one on top, if I can get a grip, and bring it back to itself. Go back in, back to itself. Go up here to the next one, back to itself, back to itself, and you will do those every single one. Okay, I'll do it over here as well. Back to itself. That's the next one. Back to itself. Okay, so all these that you see, which we did, finish those, and then we'll work on these what do we want to call it? The green ones, I believe, are the next. Just turn my loom back around as if we were placing the bands. I forgot to tell you with these long bands that you don't want to end right in the center. I forgot to show you that. You want to bring a small one over because this would be out of the perimeter, so you want to bring a small one over. Okay, all right, Cat. Chidaro's favorite kitty. Looky there. Okay, get off my table. I'll have to sanitize the table now. Okay, sorry about that. So I forgot to tell you that part, was that when you end here, you need to come over with just a small stretch. Okay, so once we did that, we're going to go into the second pin bar and do that small stretch that we did, and we'll do it on either side. Okay, and then you're just going to follow it straight up just like this. Connect them just like this. Okay, and you'll do that all the way up, and you'll go in here and you'll just follow it as well. Cat, I'm telling you, lightning is just wanting to be on camera. Okay, let me just grab this last one, and then I'll go off camera and let you finish doing the greens all the way up. Okay, just loop them back to themselves. To get that part done, we've got to do where I laid the black long stretches going the other way. So we'll go in through, and you'll just loop them back to themselves as well, the same way you did. You'll just loop them back to themselves. Okay, do the same thing on this side, back to themselves where it meets up with the border, and then basically I will go off camera, finish this part, and all we have left is the border, and then we can whip it off the loom and see what it looks like. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to like these colors or not. I'm kind of, I mean, I like them, but I don't know how well the glitter's gonna look with it, so we'll see. Okay, I'll be right back. Now you have everything just like this. I'm going to go back here, and all we have left is the border, and it's a simple border. You probably already know how to do this, but I'll show you just in case you're a beginner. I don't want to leave this part out just in case, but you're just going to loop it all the way up. Okay, do the same thing on this side, and then I will meet you. My dogs are playing and running around, sorry about that. I will meet you at the top. What you're going to do is you're going to come up here with the border, and then go in here, and you're going to come up this side, come to there, and then I'll show you the next step when we get up there and how to put the seat clip on. Okay, I'll be right back. Done, and you bring it all into these two pegs right there. There's a band right here that's already there, a cat band, or a band that you're going to use. You'll pull that one up on that side, grab it with your fingers, go back in, grab the other side of that and put it on your hook. And at that point, that's where you put your C-clip. And like I tell you, in every tutorial I do, it seems, I always leave it on the hook. I very rarely put the C-clip on till the end, but I'll go ahead and do it. That way I know it's secure, but I'll probably still leave the hook on, just like that. Okay, and I'll grab another hook that I have. At this point, check to see if it's all been looped up. It looks like it has. Now we get to take it off the loom. So at this point, you just, don't rip it off. Please don't do that because you'll end up ripping bands, especially if you use tight ones. So go through and loosen the tension on either side. Simple enough. Guess I'll stay on with you until I get it off the loom, and then I'll show you how to fix any bands that you need to fix if you have any bands, which I try to show in all my tutorials because it's really not hard if you're using dual layer bands. I only have my sweets that I'm using, but if they're twisted, I'll show you how to untwist them. But it's not hard. You just have to twist. You pick it up, twist it, and then drop it. And usually it'll pop right into place. Sometimes it won't. Sorry about that. It just, you may have to do it a couple times to get it. But why not use the good bands? Yeah, they can twist, but if you know how to untwist them, then you're just going to be in heaven because it just makes everything look so much cleaner. Okay, so I'm going to go through each one now instead of ripping it off because there's quite a bit here. I'm just going to go through each one. So I'm going to pull it off the loom and then I'll meet you right back. So this is what it looks like off the loom. I'm actually really loving these colors actually now that I've got it off. But now we got to fix the bands. So what I do is if I see any bands down the center that need to be straightened, I will straighten them. Besides, I'll straighten these bands last for the beaded bands. But like I'll go through and say like this black band is twisted, I'll grab it. I won't pull it, but I'll just twist it between my fingers and let it go. And if I see this one needs to be fixed, I will twist it. That one needs to be fixed really bad, so I will grab it. I won't pull it out because I don't want to make it loose, and then I'll just twist it between my fingers, let it drop, grab the other side, and you do that all the way up, okay, until you get the bands exactly the way that you want them. Okay, so these green bands are awfully twisted because they're dual layer. So I'll just give you an idea of what you do here. I like the sparkle to be showing and not the plain green. So I will grab this side where it's twisted. I will grab it and then twist it between my fingers. Pull it a little bit, drop it, and I'll grab it from this side. It's still not laying the way I want it, but I got it. There you go. And then I'll do the same over here. I'll grab it and I'll twist it, pull it, and I'll have to do it from this side as well. Well, let me see if I can get this. There. So you'll fix your bands all the way down, and then on the sides, since I used LE, I don't have to do too much, but I take, you straighten your bands, and if you didn't use LE, and then you take the bead and you slide it in the center. I don't have to fix any bands because they're rounded, but oh, one's hiding in there. So I'm going to grab that one between my fingers, try not to use my fingernails, and just slide it in the center of the band. So now it will lay like that, and I'll do the same with the other side. So I'm going to go clean this up, and then I'll show you what it looks like at the end, all cleaned up in exactly the way I want it. I'll be right back. So I got it as clean as I was going to get it with with these sweets and the glitter. I did not fix the beads down the center, so what you do is you just grab it and you just pull it towards the center, whichever way it's leaning, just a smidge, and be careful not to use your nails, that you don't slice through it. I've done it so many times and it is frustrating because there's nothing you can do to fix them once they're already messed up. So just going to go through on each one and just move it just ever so slightly just to get it to where I want it lined up. And then you needed to do that on the side as well, and on the border bands. And I did that. Let me grab just a couple more, and then I was going to show you. I've got a charm that I'd like to put on, and sometimes you can get away with looming over a charm, like adding it to the loom and then just looming over it to where it's all attached. Other times, which with this one, since I put beads all the way down, I probably should have left a spot to be able to put this charm down the center. So actually I probably should have done that, but I guess what I'm going to do is find the center, and I'm just going to put it on top. How cool would that be to have that showing? Looks like little eyes. So basically what I'm going to do is take some nylon, or this, you can get the bead and stretch cording, and I'm just going to pop it through. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll find the center. Let me stand up so that I can see what I'm doing. Okay, let me see. Okay, so I'm going to use this as the center right there. That's what I'm going to do. So I've already put it through one part of the eyes, and then I'm going to come up through the back, which really I probably should have left it with no beads down the center so it wouldn't be overlapping, but I'm just going to do it. I'm going to wrap it around the hook, pull it through. Try not to grab any bands, pull it through. And let me figure out, I don't want that to go through, so I'm going to pull the other side. Just like that. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do that. And then I'll go through the back. And since these both came through and they're both through the same hole, what I do, this is just what I do, I think people do it differently, is I'll just go in through another band, and I'll take one half of the thread and put it through, so that way when I tie it, and I'll go to tie it, that way when I tie it, it's going to be tying onto that band, and I'll make it good and tight, and I'll tie it twice. Okay, all right, there's that. So I've got half of it tied. Okay, now I'm going to want to go ahead. I'm going to make it to where those are the eyes. That would be so cool. Okay, now I could, let me see if I should I tie it through the eye or through right here? I'm probably going to do it through the eye. I could technically go through one of these to be able to hold it. Maybe I should. Hold on. Yeah, maybe I will. I'm going to go through like one of these holes in here, put a band through it, just like that. Whoops. Okay. Just like, sorry, just like that. I'm not watching where my camera's at. Okay, now I got to figure out how this is going to lay. Okay, so I want it to lay like that. Okay, so I'm going to press where I want it to lay. Figure out where this this is right where the they're going to meet. So I'm going to come in from the back. Okay, and I'm going to take both of these, wrap it around my hook, turn my hook, pull it through, just like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing. They both came up through the same hole. So I'm just going to find a band, and I'll just use one of these gold bands. Well, yeah. I'll just use one of the gold ones and grab one side. See that? One side of the clear band, pull it through. That way the gold is in between these two, so when I tie it, it will attach to something. Okay, I'm trying to hold it tight because I want it to tie it. Probably should have had it. Well, let's see. Maybe I'm not liking that. I probably should just do it through here. Or, I know what I should have done. So I'm going to go ahead and snip it. Just be real careful. I'm just going to snip it. Take it off. Okay, take it off. And then I'm going to do the other side, but I'm going to, oh, do I have a long enough piece? Let me see if I do. Okay, so I'm going to pull it through, same place that I had it. Okay, but this time, oops, sorry, this time I'm going to come back a little further back here from underneath instead of so close to the bead, because then it doesn't want to pull itself back. So I'm going to go through and go about, I don't know, maybe right there. Take both sides of it, put it underneath the hook, slide it underneath. Okay. I kind of want to make sure that I'm okay. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go through the green. Instead, grab 1/2 of those two, and then I'm going to tie it tight. And hopefully it's straight. I'm going to tie it twice. Good thing about this is that if you mess it up, you can always go back and change it to get it the way that you want it. Okay, so now I've got all these little things, but I've got this on. It's crooked. It's crooked. I'm not liking that. But what I could do, that is really crooked. It's because I went through the... Okay, what I could do, instead of taking this whole thing off, I could just trim it. I know you guys probably don't care about this part, so if you're done with your bracelet and you don't want to know how to put a charm on, this is the end of the tutorial. But if you do, I'm just going to show you. It's crooked, so I'm not liking that. So I'm going to just, instead of taking the whole thing apart, I'm just going to straighten it the way I want, put it through another set of bands. Oh, okay, I see what the deal is. How am I going to do this? Okay, I'm going to pull it through here. I probably should just not even show this, because I'm sure that I'm driving you nuts. Could be at the end of the tutorial, and this is just for my sanity. I'm going to make it come across to here instead of through there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to try to make this straight, and I'm going to grab it. Okay, pull up. Pull this around it. If this doesn't work, I'll have to do it off camera, and you'll just have to play with whatever you decide to do. That looks like it might work. So I'm going to go up underneath both of these black ones, I think, since the opaque is so thin. And I'm going to try to tie it in hopes that it will be straight. If not, then I'm not going to worry about it. I'll probably play around with it myself off camera. And but that's basically how you put a charm on. You just need to try to get it as straight as possible. That's what I do. Okay. Well, anyhow, you get the gist of it. This is not as straight as I want it, so I'm going to go through and take it off and reposition it to get it to go straight. But that is the Masquerade ball bracelet. You're going to probably need, since it's shrunk up so much, you can pull on it. Since it's shrunk up so much, you're probably going to need an extension, just a small one. Or you can use a lock that I have on my channel, a single lock, come through some bands and pull it through. That would work also. Sorry about that, my phone rang right in the middle. Okay, so once you get it on straight, I'm just going to leave it, but you could put a lock on either side or an extension just to make it a tad bit longer. I'm going to trim this off, but anyhow, that is the Masquerade ball bracelet, and this is the one I did in red and black and white and silver. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial, and I hope you give it a try. You don't have to beat it, or you could. Totally up to you. So hope you enjoy it, and if you do, you can give me a follow on Instagram at Artisan Loom, or subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, until next time, take care now. Bye-bye.